Welcome to our channel. Today, we embark on a profound journey into the spiritual realm to uncover 3 powerful Bible verses that can paralyze demons. These are not mere incantations but living words, imbued with divine authority. They are whispers of hope, declarations of power, and shields against the encroaching shadows. Imagine a tapestry woven with threads of faith and fear, of light and darkness. Within this intricate design lie certain threads, so potent, so divinely charged, that their very utterance can alter the balance in the spiritual ether. These are the verses we seek today. They are keys, unlocking a strength many are unaware they possess. Stay tuned to discover these divine words of power, and perhaps in understanding them, you will find a new dimension of strength and peace in your own spiritual walk. This is a cinematic journey into the heart of spiritual warfare, a quest for the verses that silence the enemy. Our first bastion of strength comes from the Apostle Paul in Ephesians 6:11. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. These are not casual words. They are a call to arms, a directive for spiritual readiness. Consider the imagery, the full armor of God. This is not a piecemeal defense but a comprehensive, divinely crafted panoply. Each piece, from the helmet of salvation to the sword of the Spirit, is essential. It suggests a deliberate act of girding oneself, acknowledging that we are entering contested territory. The purpose of this armor is explicit so that you can take your stand. This is not a passive stance but one of active, unwavering resistance. To stand is to defy, to hold one's ground against an onslaught. And what are we standing against? The devil's schemes. The original Greek word, methodia, speaks of cunning strategies and intricate plans. The enemy is a calculating strategist employing wiles and trickery. To don this armor is to engage in a spiritual discipline, a daily commitment to align oneself with the divine. Our human strength alone is insufficient for this warfare. We need something transcendent. This armor is not of earthly make. Its resilience is born of divine power. Think of the ancient warrior meticulously checking each piece of his armor before battle. So too must we approach our spiritual lives with diligence and focused intent. The full armor signifies completeness, leaving no part of our spiritual being exposed. The belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of the gospel of peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. Each component plays a vital role. Ephesians 6:11 is a foundational principle for navigating the spiritual landscape with confidence. It is a divine invitation to be equipped, not out of fear but out of understanding the spiritual realities. The act of putting on this armor is an act of faith, a declaration to the unseen realm. This mental and spiritual exercise shifts our posture from potential victimhood to empowered vigilance. Imagine the peace that comes with knowing you are fully protected by the Almighty. This isn't about arrogance but about a deep-seated confidence in God's provision. The devil's schemes are manifold, tailored to exploit our weaknesses, but the armor of God is universal in its protection. This verse is a call to awareness, reminding us that life is more than what we see. To ignore this reality is to walk unprepared into a storm, but to heed Paul's counsel is to arm oneself with divine resilience. The power to paralyze demonic influence begins here, with this conscious decision to be clothed in God's strength. The enemy's plans are disrupted when faced with a believer fully equipped by God. This isn't a one-time act but a continual state of being. Each morning a renewed commitment to wear this divine protection. Ephesians 6:11 nullifies the advantage of surprise, calling us to perpetual readiness. Thus, this verse is more than an instruction, it is an empowerment for spiritual victory. Our journey now leads us to James 4:7. Submit yourselves then to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. This verse offers a dynamic interplay, a twofold action that unleashes a remarkable divine consequence. First, the act of submission. Submit yourselves, then, to God. This is a willing alignment, a yielding of our will to a higher authority. It is an acknowledgement that God's wisdom and plans are superior. In this submission, we find immense power. By placing ourselves under God's sovereignty, we step under His protection. Our submission to God connects us to His infinite resources. Then comes the second part, resist the devil. This is an active, determined opposition. The word resist implies a standing against, a pushing back. This resistance is empowered by our prior submission to God. Because we are submitted to God, our resistance carries His authority. It is a divine no spoken through a yielded vessel. The outcome? and he will flee from you. The word flee suggests a hasty retreat, a departure born of defeat. Imagine a shadow confronted by an overwhelming light, it simply recedes. The demonic cannot endure the presence of a soul humbly submitted to God. This verse paralyzes demonic intent by altering the spiritual dynamics. The devil seeks to dominate, but submission to God places us under a higher authority. The act of resistance becomes an offensive maneuver. It is saying, "You have no place here, I belong to God." This declaration, backed by a life of submission, carries immense spiritual weight. The simplicity of this instruction requires a heart decision, to yield to God and stand firm against evil. The enemy's power lies in deception, but submission to God shatters this illusion. This verse is a call to active faith, engaging in spiritual battle with God's tools. Submission is our alignment, resistance is our engagement, the outcome, flight, is God's promise. If the devil flees, his schemes are thwarted, his influence broken. This verse offers a way to clear the spiritual atmosphere around us. The power to paralyze demons is rooted in allegiance to God. When our allegiance is with God, the enemy's claims are void. This is a call to a state of being, continually submitted to God. James 4:7 transforms the believer into a formidable spiritual force. The paralysis of demonic forces comes from their encounter with God's authority. Their only option is retreat when faced with divinely backed resistance. Our final verse takes us to 1 John 4:4. You, dear children, are from God and have overcome them, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. These words are a declaration of ultimate victory. Notice the tender address. You, dear children, it speaks of an intimate, loving relationship with God. We are cherished children of the Most High, you are from God. This establishes our spiritual DNA, we derive our essence from the divine. This connection to God is a source of incredible strength. And then, the triumphant declaration, and have overcome them. This is a present reality, a victory already accomplished. The basis for this claim, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. This is the crux, the pivot upon which all demonic opposition shatters. The one who is in you refers to the Holy Spirit. The one who is in the world refers to Satan. John makes an unequivocal statement. The divine presence within us is more powerful than any demonic entity. This verse paralyzes demons through a fundamental truth about our spiritual identity. The enemy's primary weapon is intimidation. But this verse disarms him. If the Creator resides within you, what force could stand against that? Demonic powers are finite, the one within us is infinite. This is not a call to arrogance but to humble assurance. Our victory is a gift, a consequence of God's presence within us. Our role is to believe it and live in this truth. When a believer walks in this awareness, the atmosphere changes. Darkness recoils from divine light and authority. This verse shifts our perspective from struggle to established triumph. We fight from a position of victory already secured by Christ. The battle may rage, but the outcome is decided. This verse acts as an antidote to fear and despair. It reminds us of the enemy's ultimate defeat. The tenderness of this address reinforces God's protective nature. He has equipped us with His presence. This is a profound comfort and source of courage. The power of 1 John 4:4 reframes our understanding of spiritual conflict. It is the manifestation of a victory already won. The paralysis of demonic forces comes from their encounter with God's indwelling supremacy. And so, our cinematic journey through these three monumental verses concludes. We have traversed the armory of God, witnessed the power of submission and resistance, and embraced the profound truth of the greater one who dwells within us. These are not just ancient words etched on parchment, they are living, breathing conduits of divine power. Thank you for watching. Remember, these verses are powerful tools in spiritual warfare. The path of faith is one of continual discovery. Ephesians 6:11 calls us to preparedness, James 4:7 to active engagement, and 1 John 4:4 to unshakable confidence. May these insights empower your spirit, transforming your spiritual walk. Stay blessed and protected. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more enlightening content.